Can we make all holes adjacent to the same size? Probably. Anyways, what is the condition? It's like every upward equilateral in side length K. Why is that a condition? Like, I don't see either direction, but it feels like one should be easy. But yes, to answer the question, you can, like, yeah. So I guess what that's suggesting is that I'm a little surprised the statement's even true. Like, this means, for example, suppose just at the top of a thing I have 3 holes. The problem statement seems to be suggesting that if I have 3 holes like this, and the top 2 by 2, it's just impossible to tile it no matter how much space I have. Don't have to be along grid lines. What doesn't have to be along grid lines? I think it's meant to be a grid, right? Because otherwise, you. I think it has to be along grids because otherwise, there's no way this is true, right? Like if you can tile it with diamonds, it has to be grid outline, right? So okay, let me try to understand why this is even true in this little case. Like, if I have k equals 2 like this, why is it that I can't just extend the tiling, so, like, get enough that I can finish a tiling? So I have that, and then I guess the problem is this diamond here will always need to go down, right? Like, you need to go down here, and then it never stops. So, like, fine, but it still feels a little strange to me. I mean, it's true for that upper guy, but it doesn't feel like it should be enough to stop. Is this statement true? This seems like really surprising that a little obstruction like that will stop you. Okay. So, why? Is this gonna be one of those silly things where I look at this in 3D? The hole you put in wrong. Oh, the holes have to be upwards. Okay, okay. Then I believe the statement a little more. The holes are. Oh, shoot. This is why you read the question carefully. Okay, so if I have a thing. Well, okay, in that case, the k equals 2 doesn't say anything, because if I have a picture that looks like this, that triangle's kind of stuck. What if I have a. This is k equals 2. If I have k equals 3. Thanks, and Primo 6 for the cheer. So if I have 4 holes in here, then this kind of. Okay, so yeah, this might be. It's like I have this guy and this guy, and they both only have one place they can go to, so that's obviously not good. It does feel like a Hall type thing because, okay, like what are we trying to match? We're trying to match the down arrows to the up arrows. Coincide with. First tile I randomly. Then show that the condition holds. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Like I'm surprised this is the condition. It's sort of saying that what's it saying? Wait, actually, what am I doing? Can I just use Halls directly? Okay, I'm gonna go after this. I want to see what Halls says. So we're trying to match, let's say, down arrows to up arrows. Every down triangle always has always 3-ish neighbors, right? Like if I have a down triangle, there's always, you know, you're never at the edge. So you have this one you could go to, this one you could go to, and this one you could go to. So Hall's condition says that a tiling is possible unless and only unless I have some set of triangles, let's say, that where there's not enough up triangles to match it. Yeah, and so what happens if I have a down arrow that's not okay? So some of these holes may overlap, which is annoying. Yeah, like I guess the problem statement should be equivalent to this somehow. So let's count holes. Actually, let's look at connected components, all right? So we say to down triangles connected if they share a vertex, adjacent if they share a vertex. Thank you, and Wenju for the cheer. And is it true that the connected components don't talk to each other? If I have like a down arrow somewhere, if I have a down arrow, if an what am I saying? Yeah, so this is actually, they don't talk to each other. If I have a hole, every hole touches guys in at most one connected component, right? Like if I have a, let's say there's a hole here, then the arrow, this affects things that are all adjacent to each other. So we can look at connected components like this. This connected component, look at, so maybe you have something that looks like this or something. Now, suppose there's n triangles here. Let me not use n. Suppose there's r triangles, all right? Then there are 3r nearby. What am I saying? There's 3r things, but some of them are overlapped. And I guess my intuition is the more they overlap, the smaller k gets anyways. So I want to show that there's... Ah, jeez. I'm gonna draw some more pictures. I think the whole thing is very strong because it's how you can kind of ignore the... Alright, so this is a thing where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 things, and I need at least 3. So here's a different picture. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then indeed, if I take out 5, okay. So the claim is if I have some connected set of purple guys, then... Oh, scroll down. I'm so absorbed in my... So... One direction for free. No, like, I want to show it's equivalent to Hall's condition, and I want to, condition implies tiling is free? Why? What am I missing? By Hall's. Like, why is Hall's condition true? Like, Hall's condition is any set of down triangles, right? I have a bunch of down triangles, and basically I haven't connected it to, like, I just can't connect this condition to the Halls in either way. Tiling implies condition. Oh, I see. Okay, yes, 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 I agree. And yeah, the reason is you can take... So if tiling, then you can look at this shape, let's say, and then this blob will imply Hall's. You use Hall's condition on this, and it implies, yeah, not too many holes. So the more general situation is, I guess you have a picture that's a sub-picture of that. So let's take like a very large, maybe not very large, just take any. Take a bounding box, I guess, of my purple triangles, alright? So I have this connected blob of purple triangles that kind of goes somewhere. And I want to show if this triangle has side length k, then the number of holes, adjacent holes, should be at least, what, 2k? No. K plus 2r. I think. Let me just check that. This one was 7. No, that's not the right number. Yeah, tilings or matchings, I think, is the... Well, first of all, I think the reason it reminded me of Hall was not because of the shape of the statement, but because of the type of the statement. I think the type of the statement is it's like a local thing. It's like, you know, you can imagine K is much smaller than N. It's like, oh, this small obstruction somewhere screws it up for the entire big polygon. That's sort of what Hall's theorem is letting you do. Yeah. So for Hall to work, I want to say R plus K. R plus K. So want number hole is at least k plus r. The number of holes that touch at least one thing here. My claim, I think, is that I can prove this by induction. And the reason is that you can just imagine destroying one purple cell at a time. Actually, this might even be tight, honestly. No. Like here's an example where I had 3, this is k equals 4, and indeed there is 7 black things. If I take out this purple one, the bounding box decreases by 1, and I think this just follows by induction? Wait, yeah, I think this should... So like what you can do is you can take the uppermost triangle. I think this will work. So we take the uppermost triangle, like take any... So here's the claim. I'll actually type in the claim. So claim. Consider a connected set of R downwards triangles. Look at the... Let K... Oh, what am I saying? Let K be the side of the smallest upwards equilateral bounding box. So it's the things in orange. It's the smallest equilateral triangle that encloses it. Also, let S be the set of upwards triangles adjacent to at least one element of the downward, at least one downwards triangle. Then S is at least K plus R. That's the claim. And if I have this claim, then this implies the result by induction. That implies the Hall condition, because Hall, what you do is you look at Hall. Hall's condition will hold because you just apply it to each of the connecting components. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so really, if this is true, then this condition is more or less equivalent to Hall's condition. I guess, yeah, so given claim, problem condition, if and only if Hall condition. And then you're really happy. So let's prove this claim. Proof. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to say delete triangle or downwards triangle in top row. And then there's two cases. One is that if it's the only one, let me do it this way. Let's say delete leftmost down triangle in the top row. So in that case, in our picture, it'd be this guy here. And if it's the only one, then both K goes down by 1 and R goes down by 2, so you're okay. And yeah, sorry, R goes down by 1, K goes down by 1 because you killed this triangle and you can, no. I should just say leftmost, right? Just leftmost period. So if it's the only leftmost triangle, like it's the unique one, then the bounding box decreases by 1. Also, you get this triangle back, and you get that triangle back. So those two go away. And otherwise, well, if I deleted the purple one, that's leftmost and then uppermost, you gain, this thing goes away. So whole goes -1, K goes -1, R doesn't change. Okay. And I think that's just true, right? This should just work. All right, what did I miss? Oh, someone typed the banned word again. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that I think that'll do it. And yeah, Hall's lemma is really good. Oh, see, direction of at most k holes. Yeah, I agree. Because what you do is you use holes on. You just take the set to be the entire set of little downward strength. R may not decrease by one? Why not? If it's the only one, like if R is the only, if there's only one purple triangle here, then you kind of just take it out, right? And then you can move the yellow one down by one. Can we please do another problem? Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess I'm just phrasing it kind of badly. If it's not the only one, then holes can minus two. Oh, I see. Yeah. Or minus two. Or, yeah. Well, that's the direction I want, right? I can say the holes go down by one or more, and then it's fine. Right, because I wanted a lower bound on the number of holes. So if there's like more holes that disappear, that's actually better for me. Okay, so I think that works. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Hall's condition it's sort of, you can lump it into the Halls because it's sort of like the obvious thing. Like Hall's condition should be true for any perfect matching to exist, but the tricky part is that it's also sufficient. I think something similar here. Are we doing another problem? I was planning not to because it's like literally between the two USIMO days. Uh, if people really want to do another problem, I guess I could. You don't need Hall's for the first part. I agree, but I think it's only in the sense that one direction of Hall's theorem is obvious. Like, Hall is only useful in one direction, is what I'm trying to say. And that's the direction we used it in. Will it matter if removing a triangle disconnects it? Ooh, Okay, well, okay. Actual question, did I use connectedness? I want to say no. You're right that I think removing the triangle could disconnect the graph. However, I don't think we ever use it connected anyways, so I think it's fine. Any other ideas on potential solutions? For which problem? Like this one? Um, Not off my head. You can have a huge bounding box for, oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay, sorry, you're right. I do need to worry about disconnecting. Okay. Let me think this through. Okay, so I could actually end up disconnecting it by accident, right? Um, you don't use connected, you could have a huge bounding box. Ah. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay. What was that? The concern is when I do this deletion, the purple stuff might become disconnected, but I'm assuming connectedness in this proof. So I need to be more careful. The problem is it's not true if the set of downwards triangle is connected, so I really do need to keep this condition somewhere. And I guess maybe I just, if there's... Maybe I just prove it manually when it's a cycle. So the only way this can disconnect the graph is if this is a... I don't like it. You can't assume connectedness? I'm confused. So, the reason I'm assuming connectedness is because the connected components don't talk to each other. So what you do is if Hall's condition fails, you find, then one of the components has too many holes near it, and then you use this argument. The problem is that in my induction, I'm messing up. You can induct downwards on R. You want me to fix K instead? That's reasonable, actually. Well, you need a tree, like, because the statement is just false if it's not connected. So if K is too large, like if you imagine there's just a big bounding box, you're in trouble. Okay. I feel like I should be able to delete things though. Like, because it's so tight, like in the sense that most things give an equality case. So, okay, so this first type of thing, if there's only one, it never disconnects the graph. So this part is just okay. The tricky case I'm worried about is if I have a triangle here, and like say another triangle here. where I guess if I delete this guy, nothing bad happens. What are the bad cases? The way you can disconnect the graph is if I have this picture, I guess. So this is the uppermost triangle, and this one is not here. This is the only way I can disconnect the graph, right? Because otherwise, I need the two guys to not share a vertex. Okay, well, if that disconnects the graph, maybe what I can do is I can... Ah, freaking... Oh, this is so not good. Hmm. Actually, okay, maybe what I should do is if it disconnects the graph, I should use the proof on um, each component, right? And who knows what happens to the bounding blocks, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna try if I disconnect the graph by accident when I delete, I'm using induction. So I'm gonna try to fix it by saying if there's two components, then I can apply induction to each of the parts. So once this is gone, this now there's going to be two bounding boxes. One of them is like I need the two bounding boxes to not be hmm. So when I disconnect the graph, the bounding block splinters into two somehow. Um, I have one bounding box that, for example, looks like that, and another one that looks like So I think you can argue that the two bounding boxes have to I don't like it. I don't like this at all. Oh no, wait, no. Okay, so if the bounding boxes are at least you can put a lower bound on some distance. Okay. So this one has to be hmm, I think you always have a picture that looks something like one of the bounding boxes is uh, has two of the yellow sides, and the other bounding box has the last yellow side. So I think it looks something like that. And the two... Hmm. Yeah, so this is the switch. Yeah, the disconnecting is really bad. I'm trying to think, either I can try to not disconnect the graph, like there should always be a vertex I can hit that doesn't disconnect the graph. Maybe I should just be looking at a leaf. Or not necessarily leaf. Is there always a leaf? Can I draw a switch? Or not necessarily. Well, if there's no leaf, then actually you can just do the argument. If every vertex has degree at least 2. If every vertex has degree at least, if every purple has degree at least 2, then everything's in a cycle, so you never run into a disconnecting issue. So what I'm saying, okay, so I do need every connected graph has either has a leaf or it has deleting any vertex doesn't disconnect it. Is that true? Because I want to say there's always a cycle passing through any particular vertex. No, that's just false, isn't it? That's just false. You can have a graph that looks like that. No, okay. So I can either try to fix this argument or I can try to delete. So this is wrong. Oh no. A tree. I agree a tree always has a leaf. The problem is the graph might not be a tree. Also, I'm not actually sure leaves are the things I should be going after anyways. No, no. Can I try to argue the red and orange lines like... No, actually, I think this should just be easy. Okay, I changed my mind. I think this should just be easy. The reason is that if I have, you have a triangle, and then suppose after I, you delete thing and you get two new bounding boxes, right? Well, each of the sides of the old bounding box has to be somewhere. So you have like a bounding box like that, maybe, and then like maybe a bounding box like that. Um, and there's some purple blob in here, and there's some purple blob in here. Well, they were originally connected by a purple thing before they got disconnected. And that means that purple thing, these two triangles can't be disjoint from each other. Because if the triangles were like actually disjoint from each other, um, they should share a vertex. Because if they didn't share a vertex, if this triangle here was real small, and it looked like that, well, that's really bad. Because then you can't link them with one purple vertex. So the height must of this orange triangle, the other bounding box, must be actually touch the red one, because otherwise it's too far away. And so this K1, we'll call this the K2 here, and the K1 here must satisfy K1 plus K2 is at least N, or sorry, just K. So you're okay. Even if you disconnect the graph, the number of things left over is fine. Okay, that should fix it. Thanks for pointing that out. That's very sloppy of me to drop the connectedness. Don't do that kind of thing. All right, does that work? You grading JMO this year? I'm grading stuff. How do you decide what problems go on your YouTube? I put up the problems where I feel like someone could listen and follow. Also, I need to solve it. Um, don't tell me your JMO ID. Don't do stupid stuff like that. So I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So sometimes if I like confuse myself so many times that like the presentations are incoherent, then I don't upload those to YouTube. But if I kind of, it's okay for me to go down a false path. That's fine. What's not okay is if I like say a lot of wrong statements, like just make a lot of mistakes or define things very sloppily and so on. Then I tend to not upload those to YouTube because someone, you can't follow those. Yeah. So that's how I decide which ones I export to YouTube. Was there anything with creating smaller subtriangle based on positions holes and counting whether holes in that border? Let me think. I'd have to think about it. I don't think that's really what I did. I think my idea was to use Hall's theorem, and then I was like, well, I mean, the problem's equivalent to this Hall's condition, and the problem's also equivalent to the given condition. So the given and Hall conditions should be related, but they're nice because they don't talk about where the cutouts are. So it's Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so on Sunday I'll do the thing where I talk about all my problem, or all my solutions, not all my problems. Has there ever been? I haven't. Just has there ever been a 60 Mos? I can't think of one off my head. No, that one is definitely less than like that problem is doable. Like you can solve it in the time limit. It's just the problem is